in all the regional zones of Nigeria.
That's a very interesting question. I work with Federal Ministry of Works and Federal Ministry of Housing and Urban Development. And recently, when we noticed that, we had to write a memo to the Honorable Minister of Housing, because whether you like it or not, we still have Urban and Regional Planning Department in the ministry. So we seems to be the coordinator. And I want to tell you that the Honorable Minister of the Honorable Minister of this, what do you call it? Regional Development has considered that there is going to be a synergy between our departments and the ministry. So that is where we are. When you were talking a while ago, you mentioned this issue of master plan. Beyond master plans, I want to tell you that at the ministry, at the federal, that's what we call National Physical Development Plan, which to us provide a framework for the states to adapt their master plan for. So literally, we are doing something as a coordinating ministry. Despite the fact that the law has not been implemented, anytime we are doing our schedule, we are not confined to any particular state. We look at Nigeria as a national landscape, and whatever we are doing there takes cognizance of all planning activities. This regional development plan is still being coordinated by the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development. Thank you.
Yeah, distinguished colleagues, I want to thank my brother who raised this issue. Remember, we said that by October 27th this year, there is going to be a national colloquium on the need to implement the National Urban and Regional Planning, Nigeria Urban and Regional Planning of 1992. Now he has come up with a version of that implementation. If we had it well, we already have National Fiscal Development Plan. But by the provision of the law we're talking about, this National Fiscal Development Plan should be implemented by the National Fiscal Planning Commission. So when the commission is not there, you can hardly implement the law you're talking about. And I therefore invite every one of us, like Professor Lashi said, if it means carrying placard, we shall carry placard. But we want the commission implemented at the national level, the board at the state, and the town planning authorities at the local government levels. And what are we looking for? We are looking for a situation where every town planner will be employed in this country. We are looking for a situation where every consultant has job, day in and day out. And if we keep sitting the way we are sitting, the law will remain unimplemented. Remember, it was 1992. Until now, nothing has done, and nothing has happened. That was why we decided to change the gear from review of the plan to implementation of the plan. And I want to tell us, it is easier, it is cheaper to implement the plan as approved than looking for a review. Because after review, you still go ahead and ask for implementation. So what we are doing presently is that football experts will talk about direct free kick and indirect free kick. What we are going for is direct free kick. And usually you score through direct free kick than indirect free kick. So, yes. So, distinguished colleagues, like I said yesterday, it is not a duty for one person. It is not a duty for a state. It is not a duty for a region. It is a collective duty for all town planners in Nigeria. If we can't achieve that, then I don't think we're being useful enough to those who are following us. But once we get this achieved, young town planners will smile, consultants will smile, everybody will smile, including Nigeria as a nation. God bless all of us.
So the man who spoke is the anchor of the entire town planners in Nigeria. The speaker before him is the anchor of town planning at the federal ministry. What else can I add? Thank you.
Can we have another round of applause for Professor Alachi and his wonderful presentation? Next, we'll call on Town Planner David Rongdung. Town Planner David Rongdung for the presentation of their group discussions. We're running out of time, so if we get done within 3 minutes, that would be nice. So we'll just use the 2 minutes to take a couple of questions, straight to the point.
Thank you very much. The group looked at the paper that was presented on the topic, developing technical skills in the provision of environmental services for the oil and gas and international finance corporations funded projects. And maybe on a lighter mood, this is the first time I'm hearing a thief man calling my name correctly. Well done, sir. And now, in that group, we came up with this summary. We are saying that EIA, or the preparation of EIA reports, and the EIA itself has become a specialized area of study and a profession. Then it means that you, as a town planner, you need to be adequately equipped, both in knowledge and research, so that you become a professional. We established the fact that it is not every town planner that can produce an EIA report now. We went on to recognize that some universities are offering at the master's degree level, you specialized in EIA and some other aspects of the urban and regional planning. So EIA has become a profession of themselves. And then for those of us in the ministries that are used to producing EIAs for reports for approvals, we are saying that for now, no one single individual can be able to, or should be able to, produce an EIA report because it carries so many aspects. There are a lot of tests that are involved. You as a town planner, you may not be able to test the air. You may not be able to test the water. You may not be able to test the soil. So you will need experts in those areas to carry out the tests for you. Then we also established that there are various types of EIAs. When you want to produce an EIA for a filling station, for example, it is different from the one you will produce for housing and the like that. And then the EIA has become professionalized, as we said. It has regulatory bodies. So for you to want to venture into preparation of EIA, you will need to register and become a professional too, just as you have become a professional town planner. You will need to register to become a professional EIA with the Federal Ministry of Environment. Okay, the Federal Ministry of Environment are the regulatory bodies, just as we have TOPREG, regulates the profession of urban and regional planners. Then there at the regulatory bodies, they have there are multiple regulatory bodies in the EIA field. I mentioned the Federal Ministry of Environment, there is NUPRC, there is NESREA, and the rest. All of them are regulatory bodies. Depending on the type of job you want to do, then it will also indicate the type of regulatory body that you will go to. All the other items we discuss about are also usual in the town planning profession. You need to know costing. For you to embark on doing AIA, you will need to know the costing, the appropriate costing. Just as I mentioned, I said that you will need to employ some people to carry out some tests for you, either the soil, the water, or the air. Then you also, those people, you will pay them. So for you to engage in EIA, you will need to know, in fact, you will need to carry out a study to know the costing, so that you will not go and undercharge somebody and then you are not able to deliver the work and you are blacklisted. Thank you very much.
Can we have another round of applause for Town Planner David Rongdung? So he has made his presentation. Just 2 minutes for a couple of questions. We'll just take 3 questions. 2 minutes for a couple of questions. Are we okay with the findings of the discussions? Just 2 minutes for questions. Okay, no questions. So we thank you for your presentation. Next, we're going to call on Town Planner Hope Thompson and Town Planner Patrick Nyam for their own presentations.
Good morning to all of us. This is what we have discussed from Syndicate number 3, titled Evolving Appropriate Synergy with MDAs for Effective Delivery of Projects. The group agreed that planners should be ambassadors wherever they are, starting from your home to your workplace to wherever you find yourself. And the group also discovered that most of us, even though it's the town planning that puts food on our table, we are so ashamed to be identified with the name town planner. So it is important that as a way of moving forward and introducing, selling this profession to others, wherever we find ourselves, we should address ourselves as town planner A, town planner B, town planner C. That's a way of trying to advertise this profession. We should also try as much as we can to go into politics. And planners must develop a trustworthy reputation. Because if you are not trustworthy, if your reputation is dampened, you'll be creating a bad image for this profession. And you cannot be a good ambassador. Nobody will want to align with you in any way. We also agree that planners must develop policy-making responsibilities and always transmit comments in writing to our other seniors in the system where we find ourselves. We must try to put our comments in writing. It will serve as evidence for or against us. So don't be so dogmatic probably in the course of interaction, use oral way of discussion. Put your writings, put your topics or whatever you have in writing. We also said that planners must make themselves relevant and trustworthy to our political leaders. That I've said before. And during MDA meetings, we must discuss our clear boundaries. Because what causes friction is because of personal interest. You don't know where your boundary stops. You don't know where your boundary starts. We must try as much as we can to define these boundaries. We also agree that not implementation of the urban regional planning law at the national level is also bad for us. So we should do everything to provide a policy framework for the states and local governments so that each of these boundaries will be properly defined. The group also discovered or agreed that planners should not create artificial boundaries for the practice of the profession. Planners in the state, for example, will not allow planners from other states to come and practice in their state. We had, somebody gave us a typical example where he traveled to Abia to identify a location, not knowing that that location had been penciled for an interchange. It was in the course of his inquiry that a town planner within the ministry informed him that that place had been penciled for an interchange, and that saved the situation. 6 months or 7 months Thereafter, the filling station that they were supposed to buy was removed. So that advice helped the situation for them. So we should always complement each other wherever we find ourselves, because we are colleagues. Just that you find yourself on the other side of the divide working, while the other one works at the other side. There should be spirit of comradeship, even in the practice of our profession. We also agreed that planners should stop backbiting and pulling down syndrome of one another. You don't pull down somebody because you want to get a favor. At the end of the day, whatever goes around comes around. So we are all encouraged to have the spirit of comradeship in the practice of our profession. Thank you, and God bless us all.
Can we have another round of applause for Town Planner Thompson Hope, assisted by Town Planner Patrick Yam. At the point I thought Town Planner Hope Thompson was giving us another lecture. But again, it was quite profound, and indeed, we thank him so much for taking us back and through what they did. Now, a couple of questions for Town Planner Hope Thompson and Patrick Yam for their group. If you have a question, raise your hand up. The mic is given to you. Okay.
Thank you very much. It's not a question as such, but it's a clarification that I'm wanting. We're talking about how we can be integrated, and we're now talking about boundaries between us. Part of the problems we have now is that the organizations are working in silos. Every organization is facing what is before him, without thinking what the others are doing. Yet what we are doing, we cannot achieve it. We can only achieve it through collective interest, through collective performance. But when we create boundaries, how do we achieve the integration that we are talking about? Yesterday I mentioned, a situation where a road will be laid, water board will come the next day, an expensive road. It's because they are not carried along. And if they are doing their thing, the Ministry of Works will come and put in their road. They are doing their thing, not mindful, not inviting water board to come and put your pipes before we now put the asphalt overlay. So if we work in silos, if we create divisions, then we will not get integration. Thank you. That's my thinking.
Thank you, sir. What the group actually said here, for example, for those of us who work at federal level, they try to undermine the efforts of people who work at the local government. But if you know, as a federal civil servant, what you ought to do at that level, you don't dabble into somebody's job that is working at the local government. The local government is carved out for a particular service delivery. You cannot use a federal might to begin to ensure that you press down the person that is working at the local government. Maybe because you are coming from the federal. The boundaries we mean at this level is that you, as a federal civil servant, there's a work carved out for you. Maintain your space and allow the person at the local government to also maintain their place and function effectively. And we agreed that even at management level, where the federal has a project, don't just say because we are coming from the federal. The person at the